I'm so excited to be here. And can I tell you, seeing all of you together, we've been living in the COVID world for 2 years plus, seeing everyone together, the Rocket team, the RTW team, the patients, advocates, investigators. We are so lucky that you're all here. And if nothing else comes out, right, the enthusiasm you have and the fact that you took a day out of your busy schedules of everything you were doing to come in person, could come spend time with each other and share your knowledge and your passion makes this event amazing. And I was talking to somebody right before this event in one of the cocktail coffee hour, and we talked about Rare Disease Day. Why are we here? What are we doing? And what is it all about? So maybe I'll do some brief introductory remark on my journey for rare diseases and why I'm passionate about what I do and why every single team member at Rocket is so driven to make a difference in this world, along with every single person that's attending here. And those of you that are on the live stream on Zoom, we're so glad you're able to join us. Any questions, any thoughts you have, please interrupt any part of the presentation. We welcome that. So with that, let's move to the next slide. So why are we here? Well, 3 simple things. Oh, looking at a picture of myself is not fun. There we go. That's much better. We're here to do 3 things, right? My goal is always simple. And I started working in rare diseases because I was given an amazing opportunity by Philadelphia College of Pharmacy to do a rotation at the FDA. And I did a rotation with the Orphan Products Group in 2005 with Dr. Marlene Hefner. And at that time, in those few months that I was there, I met a patient family that came in with Castleman's disease. And this family came in devastated because the mom had just realized their family members and her son was diagnosed with the disease. And there were no innovative therapies available. There were no therapies available. And the mom was struggling to find help and support. And that fueled my motivation for wanting to do work for moms like that, for families like that, and for kids like that. So that journey that started in 2005, in 2009, at Novartis, I was given this event where we did a rare disease day lunch and learn. And anybody that came for an hour would get a $15 voucher for lunch just to participate and learn more about rare diseases and the unmet medical need. So to go from that to be here at the NASDAQ Towers, to have the support of NASDAQ organization, to have the support of Empire State Building that's going to light up for rare for us, to have the support of each and every one of you in room, online, is amazing, right? All it takes is one person to make a difference. All it takes is one mom to make a difference. So today's event, I want to really call out the heroes. Today's event, I'm going to call out the heroes being the moms and the grandmas. I've had an amazing time meeting some family members and the moms, whether it was in 2005 or Dawn today, or Jenny or Kim or Amy. These moms take care of their kids. In time of uncertainty, when they find out the first diagnosis of rare disease, to finding support, to finding doctors, to finding therapies, it's not only do they for themselves, but what I find remarkable, they do it for every single family member that's out there that's struggling the same way. The community that comes together is remarkable. I don't know how they do what they do for their loved ones and the community on top of having a normal life activities, right? A job and everything else they have to take care of. So becoming a new mom in the last 6 months, I've gotten a great appreciation of complexities of life. And thank you for everything you do to make the world a better place. So what we want to do today is simple. Rocket's goal is to raise awareness for rare diseases and the unmet medical need that still exists in this world. Our goal is to promote science and innovations, because without science and innovation, we're not going to have therapies that provide treatments and potential cures to these families that are unfortunately dealing with devastating diseases. And number 3, we want to support the communities. Not just the communities that Rocket stands behind and researches, but all the communities that are fighting for treatment options. So that is our 3 goals for today. And with that, what is a rare disease? If you're asking me that question, I'm sure every one of you here in the room knows it, but the rare diseases, if we go to the next slide. Is there a clicker I'm allowed to? Yeah, you can put it right there. Oh, thank you. Perfect. Now I can just, there we go, we can do this. There are over 7,000 rare diseases identified to date. 80% of them are genetic in its origin, and 50% of them impact kids, right? That's a significant patient population that's impacted. And as much as you hear about amazing work that patient advocacies are doing, and there are a few patient advocacy groups today represented that are going to talk about how they got started and what they need to do to provide support to their communities. Did you know less than 15% of these 7,000 diseases have patient advocacy groups? Most of these diseases are so rare, they're in clusters all over the world, and they don't have a support system yet. So I'm hoping through the work we do with the communities of NORD, UODRS, and other foundations, that we can raise awareness and make it easier for families and caregivers to come together. What I'm also hoping, being at Rocket Pharma and devoted to rare disease and bringing potential curative therapies for diseases we work on, is we can promote innovations in science. Only about 5 to 6% of the rare diseases out there have an approved therapy. That's it. So calculate that, right? Gaurav, since you're great with math, of the 7,000 diseases, if only 6% have therapies available, how many patients and diseases are not identified and have treatment options? 6,700. So as much as we talk about innovations and advancement in science, we have a long ways to go. And that's what we want to do, is one step, one day at a time, make a difference and chip away at those numbers. So how do we make a difference, and why should we make a difference, right? We're going to make a difference by every single one of you getting excited for being here, for every single one of you being excited to listen to this and to actually become motivated and use your personal passion to make a difference. Every one of us has the strength to make a difference. As you know, last year, Rare Disease Day, we were so honored that Abby Myers spent the time with us, sharing her story, how when her son was diagnosed with a rare disease, she started the Orphan Drug Act and the NORD organization. And that changed the prominence of rare diseases and innovation and therapies that could be available. Think about something else. Think about the scientist at Rocket that is working. Think about the manufacturing team member that's trying to make Danon production happen in-house. What you're doing, what each of you can do, is amazing to bring these communities together to help increase science and innovation. So what are the struggles? Well, usually, unfortunately, most of the rare diseases are life-threatening. That means patients don't have luxury of time. And what that meant 2 years ago when COVID happened, and we didn't know what to do, we were paralyzed. Our patients couldn't wait for therapies and couldn't wait for the borders to open up. So Latika, Gayatri, our legal team, our community, even government agencies and US embassies got together to help us get an exemption, to get patients to the clinical site so they can get treatment before it's too late. That's the motivation and passion that drives us to make a difference. And that's what we're hoping, that if each one of you do that, even if you go home and talk to your kids what rare disease is, we can have next generation of scientists or passionate individuals. So I will take 30 seconds to call out our Shaping Foundations team members. Where are they? There we go. If you want to stand up for a quick second. So they represent Shaping Foundations. These are high school kids. These are future scientists, innovators, and future maybe healthcare professionals. What they do is TikTok videos to raise awareness, right? So whatever you have expertise in, you can use any of those venues to make a difference. So thank you for everything you're doing beyond your high school and college application and life. So thank you. And I can't wait to see their video today. It's surprising even for me. What we can do as an industry is promote more collaboration. Let's not compete, let's collaborate. Let's help the communities come together, and let's share our resources to make things easier for these patients. And what we can do as each Rocket team member is just do more of what you've already been doing. Give it your heart and soul in everything you're doing, and we together will save one patient, one life, and we'll get there. So for the investigators out there, thank you for partnering with us. We're glad that you're here representing how we can work with hospitals, academic collaborators, patients, communities, and for some of our investors community that may be logged in. We appreciate your support of our innovation and fundings to make this a reality, because it really does take a whole ecosystem to make this difference happen. So why are we doing all this? Well, we're doing all this because the community's counting on us. If not us, then who? Right? That's the question that I ask. So a lot of times people have said when I talk about rare diseases, they're like, there's so much information out there, right? And my whole thing is, well, maybe there's too much information in the world of Google and everything else that's out there. I know when I had a family member diagnosed with a recent disease, when I was looking up, I couldn't figure out what information I should rely on. What's the curated information? Where should I go? Are there clinical trials available? So I'm hoping that the work we do at Rocket, in partnership with NORD, UAddress, FDA, NIH, we can provide resources that are more central, like clinicaltrials.gov, right? If you're worried, if you have a therapy that you're investigating, where do you go to get the information? Where do you go to find out where are the experts and where are the studies being conducted? So we're hoping we can centralize all of that in our efforts in years and time to come. And at Rocket, the other thing we do, because we like to work hard, have fun, and make a difference, is this. We like to actually change the way everything looks. From our colorful shirts that you see that we're wearing, what we have done is worked on lighting up for rare. We have about a dozen monuments as well as key landmarks and iconic landmarks like Niagara Falls, Empire State Building, our Cranberry facility, all lit up for rare diseases. And what does that mean? When we started this campaign 4 years ago of lighting up Empire State Building, we saw the Facebook group of patients, and there was a mom in Middle East that said, my son is diagnosed with a rare disease. There are no treatments, and I don't know any other family that's impacted. But he wants to go to New York City. And the fact that he saw the Empire State Building light up for rare disease, for that night, that family had hope that somebody cares about their struggles and somebody will make a difference in their life. And that's what we're trying to do. We're campaigning around the world, and now we've worked with Italy, UK, and all these countries around the world to really help light up for rare across the Bay. So for those of you that are here in person or anywhere joining us, look out for your nearest landmark and see if it's lit up for rare. And if it's not, help us light it up next year, right? And if you're here in New York City, at 6 p.m., go outside and look at the Empire State Building lit up for rare diseases. And the NASDAQ towers, they've been great partners of recognizing rare disease and what work needs to be done by biotech and pharmaceutical companies. So they're also going to be doing that. And at Rocket, we do that with a little bit of flair, a little bit of music, a little bit of science, and a little bit of arts. So our goal today is to have fun, to share information, and the agenda is really simple. We're going to kick it off by talking about Danon disease. We are so lucky and fortunate to have Dr. Danon, who identified the disease nearly 4 decades ago here. We're so fortunate to have patients that have rare disease, like a Danon disease, sharing their experience of what it means for therapies and treatments. And we have the treating physicians and the founders of the program for gene therapy from UCSD, University of Colorado, and CHOP here. And so we're going to do a comprehensive panel on Danon disease, and we're also going to talk about foundation. Danon patient community came together and they formed a foundation. So we're going to highlight that foundation along with other foundations like RTW Foundation and different tools to see what we can do to be resourceful and help communities across the board. And the evening will end by bringing arts and music and science. Our CEO also happens to be 2-time Grammy-nominated kids album singer. So him and his wife, Falu, will do a performance for us with some of the Rocket team members. We really believe in a simple thing: arts, science, innovation. All together, we want to treat the person as a whole. So I'm hoping that we can share information, collaborate, and help each other be uplifted and elevated to do greater, more impactful things. And speaking of elevating every situation, I want to introduce my colleague, Dr. Latika. She is our patient advocacy guru. She is the person that talks to every patient from how to get them therapies and how to get them to the site to how to make the events like this happen. You do it with such love, compassion, care. We're so grateful to have you part of our team. And with that, I'm going to hand it off to you to kick off the event.